All right, first and foremost, we give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the worldly called Jesus Christ. Back at y'all with another Tuesday night live class in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. I'm going to go into a topic that gets talked about a whole lot, and a lot of people bank their bottom dollar. Let me 1 Timothy 6:20, I believe it is. Science falsely so-called. A lot of people bank their bottom dollar on 3 letters. What are these 3 letters? Who knows these 3 letters?
DNA.
DNA. We've heard of DNA. Have we heard of DNA testing? Ancestry.com claims to for $100 tell you where you come from, right?
Right.
All of it BS, all of it madness, and we get ready to prove it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. It's a sham, okay? And it's a sham that is predominantly created for what group of people in the planet? Who?
Esau.
No. It's a sham for mostly the tribe of Judah. All right? Alienated, don't know who the hell they are, don't know where the hell they came from. Everybody just told you come from Africa. So you send this you send some DNA sample in and they allegedly give you the tribe that you come from in Africa. It's all madness, man. It is utter and complete madness. And we get ready to get into expose it. So give me that scripture.
Come. Okay.
Where we got it?
I got it.
2 Timothy 6:20.
First Timothy.
Which one?
First, Salak, 1 Timothy. Yeah, 1 Timothy 6:20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust.
Read on.
Avoiding profane and vain babbling.
Read on.
And oppositions of science, falsely so called.
And oppositions of science, falsely so called. We were warned by our forefathers in the Bible through the Spirit to avoid false sciences, all right? And the quote-unquote DNA genetics is a false science, all right? Who knows what the word genetic means? No. It's not about a bloodline.
Is it gene?
Gene, genetic gene. What now? Characteristic gene, no. Let's focus on the word.
The X and the Y.
Not so much. Y'all think you're too scientific now. What does it mean, gene? Y'all read the Bible. Y'all should know what this means. Genesis, the beginning. It's your origin. That's what gene means. It's your origin. Genetics, that's the study of one's origin. All right? Where do men originate? Where did you originate as a man? Can you tell me?
Africa.
That's great.
Originated in Israel
No.
or in the garden.
Where did you originate?
Oh, in San Diego.
Where did you originate? Come on. Where did you originate?
My father's
In your
mind.
father's mind. Okay? The only way to truly study genetics is to study people's fathers. Where did your father come from? Where did his father come from? All the way. That's the only true way to study genetics, because that's where you see an origin as a life form in the mind of a man. All right? That's everybody. Everybody comes from a man's mind that's on the earth right now. Right? Starting with the Most High God's mind, Yahweh. All right, in heaven. We are all products ultimately of his mind. So that's the only way to really study genetics. That's what it means. All right? Anybody look up the etymology of genetics and you can't dispute it. It means you place your origin. You originate in a man's mind. That's actual, indisputable science. Science means what? We just busted Esau on this. What does science mean? To know. Pashah, good. That's why his name is Pashah.
Sure.
To know. I know that when I see a woman who I find sexually attractive, that signals and information is sent from my brain down my spine, and semen is created in my testicles, that I would hope to ejaculate into that woman to create a child. We know that to be fact. That's undisputable. So that's science. That's genetics. DNA testing, as you will find out, is not science and is not genetics. You will find out. All right? Everybody, I've heard so many people talk about DNA tests, and I guarantee you can't one of them niggas tell you about DNA testing. They can't explain to you the methodology of DNA testing. Izan.
I seen a few videos where they talk about them actually taking it 2 or 3 times and actually coming out to be 3 different tribes.
A different result every single time. Because what we're just going to read about in this article. This article is powerful, and it's going to bring a lot of insight on the matter. So we're going to get into this article real quick. Okay, here we go. All right. So this is via slate.com. Okay, and it says a DNA test won't explain Elizabeth Warren's ancestry. You're not 28% finished either. It's a great article. And it's going to give you the actual methodology to how these DNA tests are conducted and how these results are came up with. So go ahead and read that out.
It says Scott Brown, the former Massachusetts senator who lost to Elizabeth Warren in the 2012 election, has decided to dredge up old accusations that may have ultimately cost him that race. As you know, she's not Native American. Brown told reporters this week she's not 1/32nd Cherokee. It says he then called on Harvard University, where Warren was a law professor, to release records that allegedly indicate Warren benefited from affirmative action. There's no reason to believe this is true.
So what he's saying is that this white woman was perpetrating to be a Cherokee Indian so she can get an affirmative action scholarship into the school, because of course a lot of schools offer scholarships to Native Americans, right? So go ahead.
What movie was that? Oh no, that was on
How high?
not How High.
Because up Chuck
Shameless.
Kamaloo. Oh, okay.
It was on Shameless. It says before suggesting that she can take a DNA test if she wants to prove her roots.
So of course, here's a white man. What is he doing? He is propagating pseudoscience and white supremacy. Take a DNA test, right? He says, and that would prove if she was Cherokee. Well, let's take a look at that. Go ahead.
But here's the thing. DNA testing cannot definitively prove whether a person is Cherokee.
So if somebody tells you, if we say we're Israelites and somebody says to take a DNA test, they must not understand the science that you cannot definitively prove what a person is predicated upon a DNA test. You can prove who somebody's daddy is, who somebody's near kinsman, maybe their grandfather, but anything past that, you can't definitively prove. All right? So go ahead.
It says, or a member of any community, at least not reliably.
You cannot reliably determine anybody's race or ethnicity with the DNA test. You just can't do it. Go ahead.
To assume, it says to assume it can, is to assume that there's something inherently different in the genetic makeup of tribal members, and that this thing is universal within that community.
Meaning, thinking that every like what's a Mexican stereotype?
What's a Mexican stereotype?
Yeah, like what do they say Mexicans look like? I can't even think of a Mexican stereotype, because you can't, because Mexicans are diverse looking, right? So if that's the case, then that means there isn't just there's not just a one Mexican thing that all Mexicans have. So if you don't have this, we know both of your parents are Mexican, but the DNA test, you don't have this Mexican thing, so you can't be Mexican. This is literally the logic that's employed in DNA testing. Oh, well, for example, on the video, we cursed out the Somalians, right? The Somalian Crips, right? Oh, go ahead, Art.
They have one, they call it pochos.
Pochos, what's that?
It's like a Mexican that was basically born here.
Okay, born here, right?
And goes over to Mexico and speaks English.
Okay, Pochos, right? Let's take a look at like this, like Chihuahua, right? Everybody says people from Chihuahua are short, right? People from Oaxaca are darker. People from Acapulco are taller. But what if I'm short and I'm from Acapulco? What if I'm light skinned and I'm from Oaxaca? What if I'm tall and I'm from Chihuahua? Does that mean I'm not from Chihuahua now? That's what they're telling you. You are from a place that you know for a fact that you're from. But this science is telling you it's bullshit. That's what it is. I can't call it nothing else but what it is. It's insanity what's going on, right? But real quick, the Somali, when I'm cursing out the Somali and Crips, this damn Somali ain't come on the comment board, or you should do a DNA test. You an Arab. Why? Because of the way I look. There's literally zero Arab anywhere in my family. But you're telling me because of looks, I'm an Arab. That's the nerve of people. You can know where you come from, and somebody will tell you otherwise. That's the arrogancy and the pride that the white man is probably what our sergeant.
No, and that DNA too, they use it to for a lot of the tribe of Gab. What's that casino in Temecula?
Pachanga.
Pachanga, yeah, Pachanga. So you got some Pachanga tribes.
And that's the main people they're gonna harp on too is Gab. How you can't prove somebody's an Indian.
Right.
Go ahead.
So the Pachanga tribe, you got a lot of them, they're receiving money, especially because that casino's right there on that land.
That's right.
So they're getting boo-boo bucks. But you got the white man who's in there who's making them
All the money.
He's making them take these tests to prove that they're from the Pachanga tribe.
Yeah, it's called the blood quantum.
Right,
Blood quantum.
and if it comes back with negative results, they're taking them off.
Yeah, you ain't got
off their
that
membership list, right? And
Who do
now
you think they're putting on the membership list?
White people.
Bunch of white folks. They're not $5 Indians now. They're probably like $50,000.
Yeah, they probably paid a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? But not Indians, not Gadites at all, right? So go ahead, keep going on that.
Says that's not true. Our genes dictate certain things about us. There's a gene that programs the color of your eyes. For example, but
now what's now here's also what we have to understand. We're dealing with sperm, right? We all come from something called a spermazoa, okay? Meaning zoa means an animal. So that's how you originate with you. You're a living animal inside of your father, right? Or we have kids, they were living animals inside of us that were deposited somewhere else and went through a metamorphosis, like a caterpillar, right? And that's how also you can prove there's no half anything. Is a caterpillar half cocoon? Or a butterfly half cocoon? Let me ask you something now. How does a caterpillar make a cocoon? Remember we went through this in elementary school. It would get like various things and kind of cultivate the cocoon.
Through the silk. Yeah, the silk.
The silk that it produces, right? It's on. So you mean to tell me a butterfly is half silk?
right.
No. But if I'm a living animal that goes through a metamorphosis to become be a different stage of being, you're not half of anything. You are 100% the person you came from. Okay, go ahead.
Also, we have like genes close to like bananas and other fruits, right?
Yeah. We have similar genes as all living creatures. Yeah. And this is why science is now saying that they don't dispute the Genesis account. A lot of mainstream science, they're saying the Genesis creation account makes sense that all things come from one similar origin because there's similar genes in all living things. We all come from one source, right? But so again, a butterfly is not half damn silk, all right, half cocoon. It was a caterpillar that became a butterfly that on the surface is an entirely different being than the other, right? You were a swimmer, all right, as they call. You were a little tadpole and you became a whole motherfucker, all right? A whole nigga. You became a whole nigga. And in the case of Jonah, you were swallowed by a whale as a whole nigga, right? But that's what happened. So you ain't half of anything when you deal with the true meaning of all of these terms. But go ahead now.
Our genes dictate certain things about us.
Oh, what I was going to say, Salakia, about the sperm. Sperm is so intelligent that when you get deposited and you go into that egg, the sperm, all the stuff is programmed into the sperm. What color eyes you going to have. All those various things. It's going to choose to be dormant and let the woman's genes decide the eye color or to not be. You see what I'm saying? All of that has to do with the sperm. That's how highly intelligent the sperm is.
What they call genetic coding?
The genetic coding is all written into that sperm, which comes from who? Comes from the man's mind. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I always say, before you were a twinkle in your father's eye, that's where it starts. You start taking a look at that woman, your brain starts sending signals to make a certain child. You see what I'm saying? Officer.
Also, I seen this video dealing with, the sperm getting to the egg. It also has to fight through going through the woman's immune system on trying to get to that age.
It's a fight, and he's racing against hundreds of millions of other sperm. You see what I'm saying? Some brothers might have a billion sperm racing to get to this. You got a billion. So you haven't. This sperm got X amount of traits of yours. This one is going to look more like you. This one only has weaker. You know what I'm saying? It's coming different. You see what I'm saying, Sarge?
I was going back to genetic coding and it being in the man's mind, like you're saying. When you see women that go to the donors, right, the sperm donors, they ask them what kind of man or what kind of donor are you looking for? They'll say, oh, I want a doctor, right, or they want, you know. Yeah,
they want. Not only do they are they looking at looks, right. They're looking at lifestyle. They're looking, does this man have a career? They don't want a criminal because that's showing you this is what the child is going to inherit. It ain't just about looks. It's deeper than that. That's because you inherit your nature and your behavior from a man, the man that you come from, because that's what dictates who you are. The woman can only affect the way you look. That's it. So we're gonna go ahead. Go ahead.
Our genes dictate certain things about us. There's a gene that programs the color of your eyes, for example. It says, but ethnicity is not a trait derived from a single gene, but ethnicity is mostly our perception of a collection of traits.
Ethnicity is mostly, this is the key point, is mostly our perception of a collection of traits. That's a very important thing because it exposes the ideology of white supremacy. Y'all were there. Everybody who isn't in this room, of course, though, that's listening. A lot of y'all probably seen the video about Israelites. What is it? Dissect white supremacy to his face in the streets, which just came out this morning. As we were breaking them down, the Esau about race, because the key word here is perception. Perception. A lot of it has to do with what people perceive. That's why it says mostly. So that's how untrue ethnicity and race and all those various things are in this day and age. Because it's predicated upon perception and not upon truth and not upon origin. You see what I'm saying? Somebody will tell you, you're not black, you're not Mexican, you're not this, you're not that. I've been told I'm not Haitian. Why? Because I'm not dark skinned, I'm not Haitian. Mother, like, are you crazy? You see what I'm saying? SICARRI. You've been told you're white, you've been told you're not black. You see what I'm saying? All those various things. Well, when first off, who the hell are you to tell me? Right. Like, you know what the hell you know about me more than I do, apparently. You see what I'm saying? Because it's mostly based upon perception. All right? Whatever the white man wants to tell you you are, or whatever somebody feels like they think you are, i.e. the motherfucker on the comment board telling me if I took a DNA test, I'd be an Arab. What? How? I want to go. I'm looking back on my family tree. I don't see any damn turbans, man.
You see a turban on my head?
All right. Nobody in my family asked you, do you want a Slurpee at 7-Eleven? All right. Or own a damn liquor store. Or God-forsaken hookah lounge, okay? So that's insane. You know what I'm saying? That's totally crazy. So go ahead.
It says, what is this? Oh, right there. It says, but
another example.
Go ahead.
Albert Poole. Y'all watch baseball? I'm asking Issachar. Issachar watch baseball. You watch baseball, right? SICARRI? Y'all watch baseball? No? No baseball? Football? Y'all like soccer? Yeah.
I grew up a lot of Jews.
Okay. You sure? All right. Y'all know Albert Poole. Anybody know Albert Pujols? Anaheim or Los Angeles Angels, formerly St. Louis Cardinals. Right? Going around Albert Pujols. He's representing Dominican Republic. The man is Haitian. You see what I'm saying? But he's light-skinned. So he could pass, he could definitely, which they got dark-skinned Dominicans too, but he could definitely, just like all the dark-skinned Dominicans in the league. But he could pass, you see what I'm saying? He's Dominican, yeah. But if anybody pays attention, Pujols is not a Spanish name. Who you know named Pujols? You don't know nobody named Pujols. That's a French name. You see what I'm saying? Everybody's treating him like he's Dominican. Sal's French, right? Rigondeaux. Guillermo Rigondeaux, a boxer, he's repping Cuba. Oh, this is the Cuban fighter. Nigga, his name is Rigondeaux, all right? That is, first off, if you looked at his face, you ain't gonna deny whether he's Haitian or not, all right? Period. You might try to deny Albert Pujols, but once you understand his last name, and he got that from his grandfather that came from Haiti, the Dominican Republic, then you understand. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of, and there's other guys in Major League Baseball saying they're Dominican as Haitian. You see what I'm saying? Because, you know, getting falsified papers, walking around with Spanish names because, you know, of course, they're afraid that being Haitian, they don't want to give them a passport to play.
What about Pugh? The last name Pugh, is that
Pugh?
66 from the Dodgers?
Yeah, 66 from the Dodgers.
Oh, yeah. No. I want to say Pugh. Pugh is I want to say he's a Levite too. We just looked at him. Me and Bazak. He's a Levite. Yeah, he's a Levite. Yeah, no. I don't know if it's him. It's another dude on the Dodgers. His name starts with an M. He's a Levite on the Dodgers. But people will tell you, you know, try to give you a breakdown on who you are, like you don't know. You see what I'm saying? But go ahead.
It says, because ethnicity is mostly our perception of a collection of traits.
Collection of traits. Haitians have huge heads, right, and are dark skinned,
wide eyes.
You know, wide eyes. But if you don't have wide eyes and you're light skinned and you're short and you have a small head, you're not Haitian now. You see what I'm saying? No, you still a Haitian. You just don't have the stereotypical look. You see what I'm saying? The general look. You see what I'm saying? So go ahead.
Rather than a trait itself. So a genetic test that looks at our genes and comes back with an assessment of our ethnic root isn't honing in on a specific gene.
It's not honing in to tell you who you are. Here's what it's doing. Read.
And reading what it says because there's no such gene to read.
There's not a gene that tells you Mexican, Dominican, German, Israelite. There's not a gene. It's not there. It doesn't exist. E1, B1, and all of it, it's all bullshit, really. All right? Isaiah.
Is it like they just take a bunch of blood from people of the origin where they're talking about?
Here's what they do, and they're going to break it down. Here's what they do. They have split the world up into 26 regions, right? They go into each of the 26 regions, and they take about, 115? They take about 115 blood samples from that region. They dig bodies up sometimes, or they find people who purport to be 100% indigenous to whatever place, right? They do that, and then they compile it. So literally, for example, let's say there's 100 million people in one of these regions. They only took, 1%, not even 1%. They took 0.1% of the people's DNA there, and they're telling you whether or not you're from there based off 0.1% of that population. Yeah. This is what they're doing, right? So go ahead, read on. This is insane.
It says, where was we at? Boom, right? Okay, I got you. So a genetic test that looks at our genes and it comes back with an assessment of our ethnic root isn't honing in on the specific genes and reading what it says because there's no such gene to read. Instead, the test is comparing snippets of our DNA to snippets of DNA of people of known origin and looking for similarities.
So it's not taking your whole DNA into consideration. It's taking snippets of your DNA and comparing it to snippets of other people, of 115 other people from each of the specific regions.
Because DNA is so long.
Because DNA is so long, right? So go ahead. Because we're going to show, especially looking from us that believe in the Bible, we're going to show how problematic this is in a second, but go ahead.
The problem is that DNA snippets or markers are inconsistent.
Wait, they're what?
Inconsistent.
Guys are going around and swearing. Take a DNA test. What's your DNA say? Don't tell somebody in the conscious community. All right, number one, this damn DNA is telling you that every black person has a white grandfather. That's not real. That remains to be seen. Unless every black woman just had a white man that was popping her and impregnating her while she had a black husband, right? So go ahead. Which really, when they tell you that all black people are 20 to 25% white, what they're telling you is your grandmama was a hoe. That's what they're telling you. Go ahead.
It says, Sometimes they are passed on, and sometimes they are not. And whether they are,
sometimes they're passed on, and sometimes they're not, because that intelligent animal that you are, the spermazoa, decides what gets passed on and decides what don't get passed on. Go ahead.
like your parents always try to say things like, "Oh, you're 50% me and your father," when more than likely you are what they say 33 and a third.
33 and a third, yeah, 33 and a third, and then you have
both, and then you create
your
own.
own 33%.
So that goes into what the brother is just saying about how you kind of pick and choose from the 33 and a third. You pick and choose whatever it is that you know that's gonna make you, whether it's your light eyes, your long hair, or your coarse hair. I found out my hair was coarse.
Coarse,
Right?
that's
coarse.
it. That's
Things
it.
like things like
Coarse,
that. So
not, it didn't tell you it was kinky.
they didn't say it
coarse.
was kinky. The technical term is coarse.
My biology teacher said kinky in
Kinky?
class. Yeah,
All
he said, yeah, you have straight hair, you have curly hair, and then you have, and he looked at me and said, kinky hair, like my hair was hella kinky or something. I guess it was the closest in the room.
Yeah.
You know,
you was the only one.
yeah, I was only Southern Kingdom in the room. Yeah. Sorry.
And also too to prove that certain traits are passed down, some aren't. When you go into the medical industry, they always want to know what has your father or your mother had any conditions, right? And you could have it to where your great grandparents had something, maybe your grandparents had the same, right, type of illness, but then it skips your parents, right?
It skips generations.
Right.
Yeah, because when my daughter was first born, my brothers who was in the camp at that time, no, she was in a hospital. She had a severe anemia, and she had a whole gang of problems when she was first born. So they were just drilling like, man, what's up? Okay, y'all don't know of anything. What is your origin? What is they're trying to ask us every single admixture that's entered into our genetic pool that we know. You see what I'm saying? They're trying to track down what is it, and it all just rectified itself in the spirit, after 3 weeks. But they're really trying to find out, where can I go? Let me try this region. You know what I mean? Is sickle cell an issue? You know what I mean? But go ahead.
It says, and where we at? Sometimes they are passed on, and sometimes they are not. And whether they are or not is random.
It's random. It's programmed into that sperm when he enters into that egg. Go ahead.
That's right. It says, sure, a large percentage of Native Americans may share certain genetic markers.
Go ahead.
But many Native Americans may lack the same marker.
Listen, a lot of Gadites could look one way and share genetic markers. And the equal amount of Gadites could not look that way and not share that same marker. You see what I'm saying? Does it make one half of them not Native Americans? No, they're all Native Americans, right? Go ahead.
It says, but many Native Americans may lack the same marker, and many non-Native Americans may carry it by coincidence.
You see that? Coincidentally, some Native Americans can have one marker, and then white people can have the same marker, and it's coincidental. They're unrelated. You see that? So this is how problematic a damn DNA test is. They're trying to tell you who you are based upon a marker you have that nobody else who you actually are can have, but somebody in another nation have. You trying to cleave yourself onto them, right? Go ahead.
So when a DNA test comes back saying you are 28% finished, it's all really saying. So all it's really saying is that of the DNA analyzed, most companies don't analyze all of your DNA.
So again, only a portion of your DNA gets analyzed. Read.
28% of it was most similar to that of the completely finished person.
So this is crazy, right? So they take a DNA sample from a person who claims to be 100% finished, and then they test a portion of your DNA, and they say, yeah, about 25% of this DNA is similar to this person who is claiming to be 100% finished, who we don't know for sure is 100% finished, right? Go ahead. In the end.
Got you. It says, in the end, these comparisons are a fun but ultimately unreliable way to think about the possibilities of whom your ancestors might have been, rather than definitive proof of your ethnic background.
It's fun. Basically, the DNA testing agency is, oh, let's just do it. Let's just see what it says. Hey, oh, this is crazy. And that's it. And they're getting $100 a test out you.
So some companies more.
Yeah, some companies more. That's just the going rate. Ancestry.com. The ones that's to black people is probably more.
I seen I think it was, I don't know if it was documentary, but I was watching the History Channel, and I think it talked about Ancestry.com, once you register to it, you actually register to be baptized Mormon.
Wow.
When you die or something like that, because they have like a big vault, like underground, like under like a mountain, and it's like a vault, and it's like a Mormon, and they literally have records of everybody. Once you die, they literally baptize you Mormon.
What?
Yeah, I seen it on History
On History Channel?
By signing up for a certain DNA?
by signing up to like certain like wanting to find out your line.
Wow.
Yeah, that's insane.
They're coming in right now.
And then you got certain brothers, you got people that's going to get these DNA tests and thinking they're white.
Right.
Because they're reading this DNA test, and the DNA test is telling them, oh yeah, your grandfather was William Henry when that was just your damn slave owner. You see what I'm saying? What the hell are you talking about? But having faith in the devil and thinking that the devil is going to produce to you some form of a truth, that's a problem. That's a damn personal problem. Okay? You better go ask your damn grandmama where you came from, right? Officer.
I heard some sick ass. It's lucky for
You all right?
sick stuff. It was my wife, my first wife's friend. She was taking this like I guess like the sex ed class in college. And it was to the point she got to the category talking about if she was like, for example, say I had slept with a man, he shoots my club up, but I don't get pregnant. So then months later, I get with another man, he shoots my club up too. But she was talking about there's a line of a defense of the past man's sperm
that's fighting that sperm.
Fighting that sperm. So
But they said sperm can last up to what, like a week?
But what if it's inside of her? It could last long.
A week inside of her.
I'm not sure.
Oh, also they have I think I seen that
That's a lot of defense.
on the Maury show. On the Maury show, where they have a DNA test for the father, but the kid actually doesn't have the DNA of the father. So it's like a false DNA, it's like a faulty DNA test where their genes are not literally the same.
Wow.
That's because it's accurate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like you said, that's why they'll tell you you're 99.9% the child's father. That's not even a 100% reading, which, like I said, for dealing with the father, like you said, they're dealing with probably a faulty test to hype ratings up and stuff like that, giving nigga a false read, and then it turns out when he goes home, nah, you really was the child's father. But that's where DNA is most accurate for like 2 generations. You see what I'm saying? It ain't accurate past 2 generations, right? I watched a episode of Law and Order Special Victims Unit where the rapist, they got a hit on the rapist, the rapist's father. You see what I'm saying? Like, oh, we were able to, his father's DNA. We got a close match through his father's DNA. So then they tracked down all of the sons of this individual until they were finally able to determine who it was. They wouldn't be able to if they got your cousin's DNA to find you. You see what I'm saying? It's too much going on. Go ahead.
First cousin at that.
Your
mom and your dad, or not your mom and your dad, your mom and your cousin's mom, brother and sister. They still wouldn't be able to find you, but like you said, it's just too much going on.
Exactly.
So where were we at? It says, were we down or are we up a little bit?
So we right here. So
right. It says, so will all of this get better as we get more sophisticated genetic tests, which we know what sophist means.
Yeah, so right.
Okay.
So
we know what it means to be a sophist. So it says, so will all of this get better as we get more sophisticated genetic tests, or could better genetic tests help amass more data that would improve the perception of these tests?
So yeah, it'll
the
get
precision of these
it'll
tests.
get better. We'll eventually be able to have a DNA test that determines who's who, right? Go ahead.
Probably not.
Probably not. It will probably never happen. All right, go ahead.
In fact, it might get more complicated.
This is great. Go ahead.
Scientists who don't know better claim that when more natives are sampled, they'll have better databases. An example, more native markers, said Tim Tallbear, professor of native studies at the University of Alberta, in a 47-tweet takedown of Brown's remarks about Warren. Geneticists think that with more markers and greater historic genetic resolution, they'll be able to pinpoint tri-specific markers. But this does not account for the fact that people are continuously moving and reproducing with other diverse people.
And that's the key right there. I wish I need a damn whiteboard right now. Who is the father of our nation? Jacob. Jacob had how many kids? What's that sound?
Yeah.
I forgot our sister.
That's you. It's the thing. Okay.
Salah. Well, 12 sons is all that matters. Jacob had 12 sons. What nation did Joseph marry? An Egyptian woman, Mizraim. What nation did Judah reproduce with?
Ooh. I want to say. I gotta start with H.
Oh.
I know my father dated a harlot.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I'm guessing.
Listen, man. Every one of our. How you gonna have a Benjamite? Wasn't a Benjamite out here. It's all right. Every one of your forefathers reproduced in a Hamitic womb. Okay, meaning what? Every first descendant of all 12 tribes. If we just went and left it right and just started at that point, which we probably can go back further. If we just started right at Jacob and his 12 sons, all their kids was half Hamite, technically. They would have had genetics, quote unquote, genetic code that said that they were Egyptian or they were Canaanite or whatever.
No.
So, you would have that, right? So in having that, then the next generation, we was in Egypt for a couple hundred years. All right, we was in Egypt for a couple hundred years. Who was we probably mostly reproducing with in Egypt? Egyptian women, Hamitic women. So by the time we come out, a DNA test would say that we were 100% Egyptian probably because it was so much mixing with Egyptians. But of course, we know that that doesn't matter because it's about the seed line. It's not about bloodline. It ain't about DNA. The Bible don't speak about either of those things. It speaks about seed line. That's it. That's the only thing that gets spoken about. All right? I'm going to tell you how problematic the terminology of bloodline is. Are you ready? So I got a daughter, right? She got a blood transfusion. 4. At this point, the blood that she was born with, that she got from her mother, she doesn't have anymore. So is her mother not her mother? It's not in her bloodline. That shit is stupid, all right? That's retarded, okay? It ain't about blood. It ain't about technically DNA because it's such a problematic pseudoscience. It's about seed line. It's about whose father came from where at the separation of 18 people. 18 men are the fathers of 18 nations in the earth according to the Most High God. And it matters which one of those people you descend from, which one of those men, testicles, did you get shot out of? And that's the only thing that matters, period, scientifically and biblically. All right? So go ahead.
It says they mix their genetic code with other communities, as they always have, going back to the dawn of our species.
They always have. So how the hell can you tell me what a marker for this place is when you have no idea how many people this motherfucker might have mixed with prior to you giving them a test? Like people, like saying somebody who's fully finished, going up to that example. So you mean to tell me that people in Finland have been marginalized and been isolated from the rest of the world and only been reproducing with each other as long as they've existed? Because that would have to be true in order for your premise to be true. And that's how it's a pseudoscience, just like carbon dating. The premise that carbon dating exists off of is that they know exactly how much carbon is in the world and has been in the world since the beginning of time, which is impossible. Also, if anything is immersed in water, its carbon level will be automatically corrupted, right? We know there was a flood. Every civilization has a story about it, and there's scientific proof that substantiates it, right? Every story has a flood. So if the global flood occurred, then that means any pre-flood thing they could find would not be able to be carbon dated accurately, right? So these are all the pseudosciences that the white man propagates, and our people, with having a lust for worshiping the white man and still being conformed to white supremacy. Even some of these conscious guys, these guys that love Africa and all these various things, you love Africa because the white man told you that civilization or humanity began in Africa. You know, who knows when that theory came out, the out of Africa theory, about 1930. Before that, everybody thought civilization, people started in Asia, right? So until the white man came and said it was from Africa, you wasn't hands up, Africa, Africa, the cradle of civilization. You couldn't be, because the white man told you it was Asia and you believed it. Just like you believed it when he told you it was Africa. Just like you believed it when he told you carbon dating was real. Just like you believed it when you paid $100 and sent in a DNA swab and he told your ass you were from the Zulu tribe. And you're really, and you're really Mandingo. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead, officer.
No, when you was talking about the filming situation, I had a damn Jeffite tell me that the same way Adam and Eve were, they had an Adam and Eve in Samoa. So they just got together, and since then it's just incest.
Well, they're heavily into incest on the Isle of Samoa. So I'm not. You see, they had their own Adam and Eve.
Right? I asked him, I'm like, so I'm like, how did your ancestors get from what they say the motherland is from Africa to Samoa? He's like, no, they did. They've always been Samoa.
We just have always just had a perennial Samoa. So why did it take you guys so many? Because there's no evidence of people in Samoa past a certain time. I want to say the earliest evidence of people in Samoa is probably like the 1500s. So what does that tell you? You guys migrated there, okay? In very late in the game. Because they would migrate up out of Europe and all the way down. That's how they even got to them damn islands. They only been there. You can tell they ain't been there that long by the lack of ingenuitive technology that exists on there. It's very they live very primitive. You see what I'm saying? Because they ain't been there that long. You see what I'm saying? So, but go ahead. What we going?
Right. They mix their genetic code with other communities as they always have, going back to the dawn of our species. If anything, DNA is getting more muddled, not more clear.
It's getting more muddled because different peoples are coming together and having and reproducing with children, people with different types of DNA. You see what I'm saying? So at that point, you can't really tell, right? So go ahead.
Genetic scientists sometimes have faith they'll eventually find tribe-specific markers because they have delusions of indigenous stasis.
Meaning they believe that Native Americans have only purely mixed with each other as long as they've existed. And like he says, it's a delusion to believe that any segment or community of individuals has done that.
Right.
That's just delusional. Go ahead.
For some ridiculous reason, some geneticists think indigenous people.
And this is a Gadite that is an actual geneticist.
Right.
Like he does, he deals with that. Go ahead.
For some ridiculous reason, some geneticists think indigenous people didn't move. But hello, legs, horses, trains, planes, automobiles.
Moving around, getting with different people. You see what I'm saying? That's why you have brothers, like our brother Yeshaya in the room. You meet him off top, you think he's a Judite. You see what I'm saying? But you trace his lineage back, he's a Gadite. But the white man will tell you, you're not Native American. But that's not according to what my family's. So these niggas just made it up. You see what I'm saying? You just made up a history. That's crazy, man. Your DNA. But go ahead.
It says still, the past 10 years have seen the idea of DNA testing go from prohibitively expensive to a $99 ready-to-mail cotton swab. Ancestry.com plasters its homepage with pie charts that promise to give you a sense of identity.
Yeah, if I just tell you where you're from, you're just gonna believe it. If I told you were English, you would go, especially you're Israelite, you're gonna go and get an English flag and you're gonna hang it high in your house. You see what I'm saying? And you're gonna be English, you're gonna be a Brit. You're gonna sing God Save the Queen. All right. Go ahead.
It says to give you a sense of identity with decimal point precision. It says global sales of these kits are expected to reach $60 billion in the next 4 years.
This is how gullible people are. They're spending $60 billion to find out who in the hell they are when they don't just ask their damn grandma, ask their grandfather who the hell they are, ask their mama. You see what I'm saying?
You go through the family pictures.
Go through the family pictures. Start looking at people. You see what I'm saying? Who is this? Ask questions, right? Go ahead.
That skyrocketing estimate is due in part to the popularity of PBS's show Finding Your Roots, which pairs DNA analysis with paper trail chasing to reconstruct guest genealogy.
Yeah, like Oprah. Oprah was a famous person who went on that show. She said that she felt like she was Zulu. When ain't no Negro in America, a damn Zulu, right? She felt like she was Zulu. DNA test came back that she was majority Spaniard. So wait, Oprah Winfrey's a Spaniard, y'all. Come on, man. Let's start being serious here. Go ahead.
The idea of tracing one's roots resonates particularly with Black Americans.
And she's exposing it right now. They're preying on our people, the Gadites and the Judites. These are the people who want to know who the hell they are, right? Go ahead.
As NPR's,
everybody, all the other tribes aren't worried about a DNA test. Why aren't the other tribes worried about a DNA test? Mexico, you got a country, you got a flag. Haiti, we got a country, we got a flag. Gad and Judah are marginalized from this. So they are more susceptible to saying, who am I?
Probably Reuben.
Go ahead. Reuben, you see what I'm saying? Because you got a lot of Black Reubenites and things of that nature.
Unless they're in Mexico.
Yeah, unless they're in Mexico, right? But then they know they came from Florida, right? But all the other tribes, we got country, we got flag, we have this quote unquote slave culture that we have. So we're not really tripping off a DNA test. You see what I'm saying? But the tribes that are in Babylon, they want a DNA test. Because being American is being a white person. You see what I'm saying? And of course, that isn't satisfactory. So go ahead.
It says, as NPR's All Things Considered highlighted earlier this year, because this group is particularly lacking the genealogical information due to the forced migration of slavery, many people talk to me about living their whole lives wanting to know who they were, in the sense of who they were before the slave trade. Columbia sociology professor Alondra Nelson said to NPR, unfortunately, the problem posed by the tests apply just as much to this community as they do to Warren.
Warren, who, again, at the beginning of the article, is she who is claiming to be a 32nd Cherokee, which I doubt she is. But they're saying how the problem is posed to Gadites and to Judites. Go ahead.
This is another issue, is limited and inconsistent data.
And this is what these people are basing and banking their lives and their identity off of, is a collection of limited and inconsistent data. Read on.
It says Ancestry.com, for example, divides the world up into 26 genetic regions and uses just 115 samples to create the representative of each region.
Wait. To create a representative. So they take 115 samples and make it into one sample. They take the traits from each of these 115 samples and merge it into one sample. And this is what and that represents, let's take a look. They say there's about what, 7 billion people on Earth right now, right? Let's do some math. That's what they said.
Math.
Do a little bit of math. Where's my calculator?
Of course, we know census.
You know, so about, let's say, like 7 million people. I don't even know. Hold on, 7. That's millions.
Is it million or billion?
Billion.
Yeah.
7 billion.
Right.
Divided by 26. So let's say if we evenly broke up, that means they're saying there are 26 million. Oh no, not 26. 269,230,769 people in each one of these regions. 270 million people in each one of these regions. And out of those 270 million people, they test 115 and base who you are off of 115 out of, I mean, I don't even know if we can, let's real quick. I want to do a quick, I can't even do that math. It's too damn large. Let's do a percentage calculator. Right? So I want to do percentage calculator. What 115 is what percent of 270 million? Okay, the answer is 0.0000425. A lot of numbers. So we'll just round it up to 5, huh?
Go over. 425959 repeated.
Yeah, 4259 repeated. Okay, so 0.0004259 repeated. Literally less. I'm literally a millifraction of the people that live in these regions are being tested, and that's what's determining the results. If you are dumb enough to believe a DNA test past somebody's damn granddaddy, that's your damn fault. All right, go ahead.
And use just 115 samples to create the representative of each region, a very small sample size, which we just determined. It says, and different companies place different weight on these samples.
And different companies, they choose what they're going to say. These different companies that lie and give you false hope, especially so-called black man and woman. Go ahead.
Which come from burial grounds, modern isolated communities, and academically published data like the Human Genome Diversity Project.
So you mean to tell me you gonna dig? They dig somebody up and test them, right? You don't even know who the hell that is in the damn ground. Even if that person's even from there, he could have been passing damn through and died. White man die on an Indian reservation. They bury him. Oh yeah, German markers. We're just gonna say it's native. Go ahead.
For the consumer, this means if you don't like your heritage results, try a different company.
You'll get a completely different breakdown. Is what it says. That is insane. Keep going.
It says whether there's any harm in people basing their identity on faulty reasoning is unclear, but the success of these commercial endeavors proves that at the very least, consumers find it kind of fun. Genetic testing is basically just a low-cost way to get a blurry picture of whom your ancestors might have been related to.
So it says a blurry picture to find out who your ancestors might have not have been, but have been related to. And y'all believe that, Isaiah?
So it's like pay more and you can get a better.
Yeah. Pay more will give you a different result. Just keep taking the test until you find the tribe in Africa that you like the most. And just be them.
You become native.
And you either pay more or we'll say you're a Cherokee.
It says just don't take that picture too seriously. This article is part of Future Tense, a collaboration among Arizona State University.
So this article is scholastic and it was produced in part by Arizona State University. It's not just some nigga writing the article. All right, go ahead.
New America and Slate. It says Future Tense explores the ways emerging technologies affect society, policy, and culture. To read more, follow us on Twitter. Sign up for our weekly newsletter.
This is great. This is great. So now, with that, we're going to expose some of this asinine stuff that some guys who claim they're Israelites are saying. So there was an individual who was on my friends list on Facebook. No longer is, as y'all see as y'all will see as we read this post. But he was my friend, and he said, "Why are American Hebrew Israelites so racist towards Africans?" This is what he said. I later find out that this guy is African, but he's claiming to be Israelite. But I just posed the question: why are Africans racist against African Americans? Just very simple. All right, you ask a question you feel like is logical. Cool. I want to just pose a similar question. Africans as a whole have been experienced or have expressed more racism to African Americans than Hebrew Israelites than the impact we could have made towards Africans, right? Like this brother has a story about his pastor, a so-called black man, a Judite, went to Africa and got called a nigger by an African that was darker than him, right or wrong. Right. So I'm just asking this question. So the guy says, let me turn around. No, the guy who this is, who's a Hamite, I believe. He says, no disrespect to you, but this conversation is for my people of African American descent, not Mamsers. This is what he said. So it's great. So here's what so this other Negro come on there and says, haha, bro, sure let that confused Arab know. So again, I'm an Arab again, guys. LOL, these mixed race people always find themselves in confusion and end up confusing the whole black populace even further. The adversary will always use mixed people as a buffer to the entire truth. But luckily, nature and reality don't lie, but our delusional people are willing to accept it. So let's continue. So I just asked another simple question. How am I not of African-American descent? And then I asked the other guy, so I'm Arab. He says, because your blood, because you're mixed with European blood, you are what your DNA is and not what history labels you. So you have a guy who's portraying himself to be a Hebrew Israelite, a proud black man, is saying that literally a test administered to him by white people that is very inaccurate, as we've just read, is what determines who you are and not who you've been labeled historically. So even if the white man labels you as black in America, you're not of African-American descent, sure, according to him. I said, okay. I said, technically, vast majority of African-Americans are also mixed with European DNA. Because mind you, here's what he says. He says, because you're mixed with European blood. He didn't say percentage of European blood. He said, because I'm mixed with European blood. So I said, technically, vast majority of African-Americans are also mixed with European DNA. The average DNA test will give a so-called black man, he's about 20% white, right? If you've ever taken a DNA test, you would know that. This is how I know he hasn't taken a DNA test. So I said, so being mixed with European DNA automatically you being of African-American descent null and void. I'm just following his logic here, right? So he then says the difference between me and you is you're holding on to a smaller percentage. Now he's talking percentages of my ancestors' blood than me. My father is Ghanaian. I believe this dude is a Hamite. And my mother, African-American. It's obvious you're 50 to 60% white while teaching a history that doesn't belong to you. All right, cool. I said, so if it's a large portion of my DNA, how doesn't it belong to me, right? So, because you're saying 50 to 60%. So let's say it's 50-50, or let's even say it's 60-40. 40 to 50% is still a large portion of somebody's DNA. I said, if it's a large portion of my DNA, how doesn't it belong to me? Who is the judge of what percentage is what? What percentage is no longer acceptable? I'm just acting reasonably here. He says, your skin color. So now it's not about DNA. It's not about science, like he said it was. Now he says, your skin color. Then right? So I just said, I thought it was DNA. So going further, he goes, you can't tell these new Hebrew mamzers nothing. They have the Bible to stand on. So what he is now saying is it doesn't matter what the Bible says. DNA is what matters. It doesn't matter how many times you go in the scriptures and prove you are who your father is. He's saying DNA is what counts and matters. That's how this guy's a Hamite. Nothing spiritual about him. So this other guy says, in other words, your autosomes determine your race. So don't even think about going there with you or who your father is. It's unscientific black Hebrew Israelite doctrine. These are Hebrew Israelites. I said, I'm just asking you about how you are judging things. I haven't argued. I'm asking questions. You told me it was DNA, then switched to skin color. So this guy leave a long comment, and I said, okay, informative, King. I just need to understand, number one, who invented the concept of race, and number two, what does any of that have to do with me? Because he's talking about autosomes, right? So, so here's what he goes. By the looks of you, again, by the looks, you are definitely below 50% sub-Saharan African. by the looks, right? So now watch this. And contrary to popular New Age, we are all one humanity belief and propaganda, race is not a new construct created by Europeans. Neither is referring to ourselves as black, which both those things are new concepts invented by white people. It's retarded. Our people still have the word black in various Niger, Congo languages, whatever. So all the New Age black Hebrew Israelites and Moors teach pure white supremacy, New Age ideology, post-race society. So he's saying what we're teaching is white supremacy and post-racist society, when he's the one teaching a white construct of race and DNA, right? So this is great. So I said, so off of looks, we're giving DNA test results now. You're telling me that I look like I'm sub 50% sub-Saharan African. By looks, we're giving a scientific thing, right? So I said, what part of science is that? Then I said, what race would you classify this woman off of looks and skin color? So everybody can see this is the woman. Her name is Saraj Bertine. Y'all can Google her up. She's Miss Haiti. She's Haitian. All right. She's over 70% black. All right. But of course, if you just are going off looks, you wouldn't know that. So now, moving on. Then he says, I never said DNA test result is solely based off looks, but you're obviously mixed. and the girl in the picture is obviously of mixed race descent. That's clearly obvious. I said, so being mixed disqualifies you. I'm trying to understand what the cutoff marker is, you know? So what percentage of African does she look like, right? So he says she's clearly most, so look what he says. She's clearly multiracial, but guessing is also unscientific.
Just cut yourself.
Delete, bro. This is why you don't even just deal with
Listen, this is why I'm just asking questions and I'm not going in. I'm just gonna ask only questions.
No. Delete.
I'm gonna be the 40-year-old virgin. I'm gonna walk in here and only ask questions, right? So then the dude says, Brother Choi, he don't get it and never will because the Bible is his history, biology, and scientific reference. As if there's something wrong with that, but both of you niggas is claiming to be Hebrew Israelites, which is a biblical. If the Bible is out of the equation, who gives a damn about being the Israelite? Why would you want to be Israelite? There's no benefit to it. It doesn't exist. Nobody recognizes that nation anymore. So you shouldn't identify with it, right? So I said, so you unscientifically classify me then, right? If guessing is unscientific, you've unscientifically classified me. He said, now look what he said. He says, right, we know our own instinctively and innately. More non-science, right? More guessing, right? I said, so now it's instinct. It went from DNA to skin color to instinct, right? And then he said, no, I didn't because I know you're half white. So now the whole time you're acting like you don't know me and you're making guesses, but you knew the whole time. So why didn't you just say, I know?
You have. How did he get it to 60%?
No, how did it go? How did it go to 50 to 60? How can I be? What is this extra 10% of white? Where did that come from?
So are you saying that the white gene dominates the black gene?
Exactly.
Are you saying that they're more dominant? Oh,
it just created the extra 10%, right?
Yeah.
Right. You see what I'm saying?
Also, what percentage you're gonna be at before you're now limited?
No, this is what I keep asking. Where's the marker? Like, okay, like if I'm 75%, you know, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? But 50%, you're out. I just want to know. You feel 59.5 minutes. I just want to know what you believe, right? So he says, dude, you are confused, and I expect nothing different coming from a bastard, right? So you know what I said? You know what I said? I said, okay, makes sense. Then he said, it's not that deep, man. Oh, it's not that deep. No, I said, I'm not confused by anything other than your words. How many times does the term bastard appear in the Bible? Because now they try to downplay the scriptures, but you're using the terms bastard and mamzer, which are biblical terms. So, hey, how many times did that appear in the Bible? Then he said, and no one said anything about just instincts, which he just said. I was responding to what the brother said. Any black African person knows the girl you posted is clearly mixed. She doesn't even look like a light-skinned Negro, but she's over. No, I said that girl is over 70% black for the record. That was Miss Haiti a few years ago. I will not get into biblical hermeneutics because all I know is what I wrote above is all scientific facts. So DNA, guessing, and instinct are scientific facts now. All right?
He's gonna go into smelling things.
Yeah.
Now you smell, you have a little bit of sulfur undertone, a sulfuric undertone. So then the other guy comes and says, the reason why we are misled, the Hamite, the reason why we are misled is because bastards lead our people. So I said, how many times is the term, I asked him, how many times the term bastard appear in the Bible? He said, depends on which translation. All of them are propaganda of Jewish Zionists anyway. So then how do you know you're Israelite? This is crazy.
So these dudes don't know a damn thing, man.
So I asked,
Somebody need a check.
20, 30.
Because this nigga is stupid, right?
You gotta give it percentages, brother.
Yeah, you know, hey, nigga, this is 100%. My foot is in your ass. Okay, my foot is 75% in your ass right now. Right? So I say, so he's saying the Bible is all versions of the Bible are propaganda from Zionists. So I said, so what do you base your information off of? He said the Kenites, the ones who translated the Bible from ancient Hebrew to English. I said, how does one get a hold of that? If you read the Bible, it tells you this information. But wait, I thought it was Zionist propaganda, right? So I said, I thought the Bible is propaganda. He said, research them. I'm not going to give you this info, especially if you are not my people. I say, I said, this is my last question. Or this is what I asked him. I said, so if you have a baby by a white woman, is that baby not your people? Right? I said, it's my last question. He said, I would never have a baby by a white woman. Ain't no ifs. My ancestors taught me never to trust a white man. You see my queen and my pick, end of discussion. Right? So because he knew if he answered that question, it would put an end to his doctrine. Because you can't tell me that your own son is not your people. That's how can the kid that came from you not be your people? That's out, right? So I ended it and I said LOL, because answering the question would have exposed how asinine your ideology is. And then I said, stop adding mamzers if we ain't your people, because he added me. I did not add him.
Clearly you added me, all right?
I said, stop adding mamzers if we ain't your people. Groupie.
That's right. Hey, clap it up, man. He's a goddamn groupie, man.
So that's what I'm saying. You want to add a nigga that you don't even like.
Yeah, that's what they do. You got no life.
You want to add me just to come on my post and argue with me, which granted, I came on his post, but I didn't even come to argue. I'm just saying that Africans are racist towards African Americans. So why isn't that addressed? Why are only Hebrew Israelites being addressed on it? But see, that's what happens. Just like with Vocab Malone. Vocab Malone is talking about he don't believe a lot of them rats running around in Israel are the actual Jews. But you launch an attack on black Hebrew, quote unquote, black Hebrew Israelite. You don't launch an attack on the people who are running the world. Why don't you launch an attack on them, right? But the attack got to be launched on us. So with that, what's up, man? You ready? Okay, come. With that, I'm gonna pass it over to the powerful. You had another point on it, guys? Okay, come. Yeah. Sergeant.
Just the monarchy, like even in monarchy, because you're saying it goes back to the father. Even monarchies, is that like the governments that are run by like families or dynasties, right? They always you had to have a son, right?
You had to have a son to be your heir. Right. Also, Irish people, right? Pre-Catholic Irish people or non-religious Irish people that follow the pagan ways of Ireland. You know who the most important man? And this exposes how disgusting white people are. You know who the most important man in a child's life is, according to Irish culture? Their mom's brother. You know why their mom's brother plays their father? Because their women were such hoes that it would be hard to determine who the father was. So because of that, you know who your mother is, you know who her brother is, you just let your uncle essentially be your damn daddy. That's what monarchy gets you, whoredom. You see what I'm saying? So it's ridiculous. But with that, I'm gonna pass it over to the deacon. He got a powerful lesson for that.
Hey, bro, I'm gonna see this video I done. Salat, Kashab. Salat.
All the Israelites ain't the same. Go ahead.
They cousins, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So he sent the video of a damn kite talking about weed. Talking about weed. Jews. I ain't seen it yet.
Oh, really?
Jews.
Dude, I really.
That
video pissed me off.
I'm gonna send it. That way.
Well, that's all right.
Friday.
Yeah, they lose. They about to lose their damn kingdom, man. You see what I'm saying? So they understand that. So the devil have great wrath because you know that he got but a short time. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're dealing with right now. But go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm telling you this when you come to my house. It's cold.
Oh.
Nice little sword you got there.
Chardonnay. Where you sitting at? Right here? Nah, I don't.
Oh, it's like you're right. I'll sit over here. Yeah. 1 second. Let me. I got a picture.
All right. I'm gonna have the Sarge read. Sarge and this is gonna be quick. Shalom Israel, Shalom Israel. This is gonna be real quick, dealing with a couple topics, couple things that need to be addressed. How you like that SICARRI banner in the back? SICARRI banner. A couple things need to be addressed. Something that's running rampant in Israel, and that's unlawfully putting away your wife. Dealing with the men, dealing with the women as well. But we're gonna just get on the mass amount of charges and accusations and reports of men unlawfully putting away their woman. Things have been said like Christ being over Moses' words being over Christ's words. You can still write a bill of divorce. All this is untrue, and it's wicked, and it's causing us to be an adulterous, a wicked and adulterous generation, as the Bible says. You made that bed, you gotta lay in it. So I'm gonna have both of you guys grab a couple scriptures.
Come on.
Have you grab Matthew 5:23 and Matthew 19. Start at verse 9. I'm gonna have Sarge get his first. So being the nice person I am, and just trying to make myself readily available to the Israelites, to my people, to my community. I keep my phone line open and keep my Facebook Messenger open, keep the emails open, keep the YouTube comments open, so that we could so that we can give back to the community, give back to the people as much as y'all give and support us, and as much as the Most High and through His Son and through the Spirit have entrusted us with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding and experience. So
yeah, check that Patreon out too. Patreon.com/SICARRI.
Right.
All right.
Get right.
Up and running.
Get your exclusives and get right. So you know, I leave it open for brothers and sisters to reach out to me, and just getting so many reports of a young woman, a young damsel comes in this truth, and like all you thirsty Negroes out here, y'all see a cute woman in the truth, you want to go and try to get her astonished with your doctrine, all right? And a lot of these young women fall for it, young women and old women, all right? Like I said, the reports I'm getting. So
what's so crazy is it's preying upon people, and it's taking advantage of people, because you know, when a lot of people come into this truth, I know this even happened to me when I first came into the truth. The first camp that I was a part of, it was like I didn't expect problems to be there. You know, I just thought we're all in the truth, we all understand the scriptures, we shouldn't have any disagreements, or you know, there shouldn't be anybody that's got ulterior motives if we are all sincerely into the truth. But I found out probably within the first week or two in my first camp that that wasn't so. You see what I'm saying? So that's what happens a lot. So a sister or a brother, or you know, especially in this case, a sister may come into this truth and think, okay, like these brothers, they good, you know, they in the truth,
trust,
they keeping the law, they trust you because you're in this knowledge, and you are, or not you, or not of course any brothers in this room, but certain individuals are being wolves in sheep's clothing and being predators, and they're identifying that sister is being naive because she's new to the truth, and she's looking at everybody in the truth like they're not trying to take advantage of her, and take advantage of her. Go ahead.
Right. So yeah, it's just the literal definition of wolves in sheep's clothing, man. Literally, right? So I'm gonna give a couple testimonies, then we're gonna go into the scriptures. I ain't gonna name names. All right. I'm gonna name one name, okay? I ain't gonna name names. So
not plural.
So a sister hit me up, and she had met a guy, and the guy was allegedly in the truth, and said,
"Oh, he was in the camp."
He wasn't in the camp.
Okay.
I believe he wasn't in the camp, okay. But he was wearing his fringes, had his little beard, and this is why in this school we have a ranking system set up through the Spirit, and also a time and duration for you to deal with women, so that adultery is not committed, fornication is not committed, and that you can try that person and prove that person as the Bible says. That's right. That's down. 1 John 4:1, and also in the Apocrypha, accept no man so quickly, roughly paraphrasing. And that goes for both genders, right? So she meets the guy. All he had to do was wear some fringes, grow a beard, put the bacon down, Give her a couple
Hey,
scriptures.
beers and bacon.
Beautiful sister too. I'm talking about for real. Powerful, beautiful sister, man. And and so, you know, a few months go by. He makes a promise to her that they're going to be married, in which sex is the marriage. So they're already married. He's making a promise for the ceremony and the feast. And
hey, look, just lying to that woman,
Just
knowing he
lying.
don't want to do none of that. He just want to get boxed.
just lying. Got the goods, and now left the woman, disappeared on this woman, right? And that's an unlawful put away. What he did was commit adultery, and he's causing her to commit adultery, and the man who's going to deal with her after him to commit adultery. And this is why we have to put out this wickedness within our nation, within our people, especially those that are in the truth, right? But if she would have waited, instead of trying to give it up so damn quickly, because he knew John 3:16 and Deuteronomy 28, then she would have knew his intentions, knew his agenda, right? Knew where he was going, knew he just wanted to get the
Yeah. Some women gotta stop being so damn easy, man.
thirsty.
Thirsty.
You call niggas thirsty, you call men thirsty, but y'all get with the dude, little pretty boy, Hebrew Israelite dude, keyboard warrior.
Let them get the goods on night one. What happened? What's the difference between you and the damn world? All right. You was fucking niggas on the first night. I'm just gonna come straight. Y'all was fucking niggas on the first night in the world. You come into the truth. You change your perception of what you want in a man. Now you don't want him to have a Gucci shirt. You want to have a shirt with fringes, and you give him the damn pussy the first night too. Y'all need to check yourselves, women, and men. You need to check your damn self and stop. And when a sister does that, I don't give a damn how desperately she throws herself at you. You need to turn down her advances and rule your damn flesh. And make an honest and respectable woman out of her, and an honest and respectable man out of your damn self. Act like you had change. Act like the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua has worked in your life. Damn, man, go ahead.
Yeah, and that reflects on our nation as a whole. That literally affect. That's like a domino effect. And she goes, and then it happens again, and then now everybody is guilty of adultery. All right, so and the sister kind of like, well, you know, it's just a learning lesson.
No, it's bigger than that.
It's bigger than just a learning lesson. That you laid down, you had a covenant, you consummated, consecrated the marriage. It's bigger than just a learning lesson. All right. Another situation. Sister goes into the chat room, sees this guy dropping hot fire in the truth. He's still smoking weed. He's not doing the work. I'm not saying brothers in camps are not guilty of this same, because we're gonna get to that. This is gonna be the only names that I bring out. All right. But he's in the chat. He's dropping hot fire. He's dropping his little scriptures in the middle of a keyboard battle. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gets wild over keyboard battles nowadays, but nobody want to go live, right? So she gets with the guy, of course, gives up that thing rather quickly, and he ends up leaving her for some other woman. Or no, I think in this situation, she left him because he had another woman, which is off on her part. Had she would have waited 3 to 6 to even a year, which we got some of those time restraints, then she would have known that he's going to be dealing with other women, or he has other women, right? But again, jumping in too quick, she was not supposed to walk away from that situation anyway, no matter what. She was bound to her husband, period, whether you like him dealing with
you women got to get out the damn world. You're in the world when you just want to force a man into monogamy if you already got a woman, man. You see what I'm saying? It's different if y'all together and you're like, look, I don't really, you know what I'm saying, which I'm not even co-signing that, but that's different than you get with a man, you find out he got a woman, and you want to just leave that man after you already then gave the goods up. You've already made a covenant. That's really a covenant of blood.
Right.
Because you exchange bodily fluids and you have sex with somebody, don't you? Right. Y'all women are in the damn world. That's why you fucking on the first night, and that's why you have such a problem with sharing your damn man. You're no different than the bitch that's walking the damn strip down the street, man.
Speak about it.
All right? It's no different. And I gotta come to y'all women straight, firm, and forward, man. All right? Y'all know us. We stand for you damn women. Go ahead, D.
But like the brother was saying, y'all ain't no different from the woman in the world. Y'all need to wait. Y'all need to prove these brothers, and you brothers, y'all need to wait. You need to prove these sisters, because if you're unlawfully putting them away, then both of you, or whoever's guilty of it, is going to be in danger of hellfire, as the Bible says, right? So, moving on to my next one. Sister reaches out. She's like, I'm like, what's going on? She's like, oh, his baby's dad is crazy. I mean, his baby's mom is crazy. That's why I'm divorcing him.
Women in the world won't even leave you over that.
I don't know what y'all think this is. I don't know if you know that adultery is a capital punishment.
Right.
All right. The Most High didn't want us mixing apple seeds with orange seeds in the field. So he damn sure don't want the next nigga's seed in that womb.
Yeah, because you soil. So if every patch of soil had its own, yeah, you just plant apples here. You know what I'm saying? You just plant oranges here, right? Azan.
Can I also fit in with the pearls?
Pearls among swine. What, the mingling the various seeds?
Yeah.
Yeah, you break it. Listen, you break it down. Hey, you break it down right. You sure can. You know what I'm saying? You freak it the right way. You can add it in there. But go ahead.
Yeah, but no, that's like I said, that's holy matrimony. Especially the physical part to becoming one flesh, right?
Right.
And this is the reason why we're cut off as a people, and we getting jacked the hell up because of shit like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's the reason why we went on slave ships.
That's right.
All right. Sexual immorality, fornication, adultery, bestiality, homosexuality, and idolatry. Some of the main reasons why we went on slave ships. So it's a serious thing, right?
That's right.
So
Scripture speaks about women being thirsty travelers, right? Just opening up their
Quiver to everywhere they go. Yeah.
opening up that quiver.
Yeah,
that slither.
Hey, that's right.
That quiver and slither, right? So lastly I want to speak about is a sister who got put away by a brother from a camp. I'm not going to name names, but I'm going to name camp.
That's right.
This particular camp is the most foul,
That's right. Talk about it.
proud spirit. Great millstone, right? GM mess. Hey, well, Tahar said it. Cole, leave the bitch.
Yeah, he said it. He
Kick
said
the
it.
bitch to the curb. Leave her.
Leave the kids.
Leave the kids. And he's gonna have to deal with that, because we're not supposed to be, according to the words of Christ, whose words are superior to any other words from any individual in this book. According to the words of Christ, which we're going to read, there's only one reason that you can divorce and leave your woman, period, and vice versa, right? So he's talking about a bill of divorce. Matthew 5:23 came out that you can't put away your woman save for fornication. He says, okay, well, does the Most High, does Christ's words supersede the words of Moses that was given to him directly by the Most High?
I thought you gotta worship Yahushua according to Great Meal. That's crazy.
So this is the type of wickedness and damn near borderline blasphemy that you have to hear and deal with when you come into this truth.
And let me give my testimony. I can name off top at least 2 sisters that the same thing happened to in the same camp. One sister got kicked to the curb for no reason, essentially, no real reason, by a dude in Great Millstone. And then she ended up getting with a dude in the world and actually brought him into truth. All right. Then I know another sister who was unlawfully put away by a Great Millstone member under the same circumstances because he said, because she talked loud to him. You see what I'm saying? What black woman don't talk loud? Understandably, she probably was out of order and was disrespectful. I don't disagree with that. But that is not grounds to terminate a marriage. And the Most High, matter of fact, real quick, let me get this precept for you, man. Because this is really what it boils down to, and really what you guys don't care about the Most High. You guys that do these types of things, we're gonna prove it in the spirit and power of Yahushua. So let me get this real quick. You got this Malachi?
Nah.
Okay, let me just get this Malachi real quick. Just hit me. I forgot about the scripture. Malachi 2 and about what is it? Man, hold on 1 second. Right here. Right here, Malachi 2:16. For Yahweh, the power of Israel, saith that he hateth putting away. He hates it. He hates divorce. So why are you doing it? Go ahead.
Yes. If the Most High hates you, then you know you got swift judgment coming. So anyway, we're gonna deal with some of these. We're gonna deal with some of these statements that were made, and we're gonna put this edification out here. And
yeah, if GMS y'all want to play a damn game because we calling y'all wicked asses out. I mean, we're not making up. We're not manufacturing women. If y'all wanted to get ugly and want us to start bringing witnesses, she start naming names in you niggas camps, and we start pulling face cards up, that can easily be done. Go ahead.
Come on, let's start with a matter of fact, Cap, give Matthew 5:23. What would you hold?
Matthew 19:9.
Okay, get Proverbs 6:32. Slacky.
Read it.
Come.
Book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 23. Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there rememberest that thy brother hath an oath against thee.
Is that Matthew 5:23?
Correct.
Or is it
32?
Yeah, 5:32, Salaki.
About 27.
Huh?
27.
27? 27 and 32?
32.
5 and 27.
27.
It's talking about
I shall not commit adultery.
yeah, if you look at a woman and lust.
Oh.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 32. But I say unto you that whosoever shall put away his wife,
Whosoever shall try to give her a bill of divorce and put her away, go ahead.
saving for the cause.
Saving meaning except for what?
The cause of fornication.
The cause of fornication. Greek word porneo. Dealing with four. The Greek word porneo is comprised of 4 definitions when you break down the word. That's adultery, bestiality, homosexuality, and sodomy. Sodomy is not necessarily homosexuality. That's you running up in your woman's ass.
That's right.
All right? So that's the 4. That's what's fornication. So unless you're not putting away your woman for that matter, and vice versa, right? Then you're, read.
It says causeth her to commit adultery.
Causeth her to commit adultery. So you put her away and then you commit adultery. I'm sorry, she commits adultery. But by her committing adultery, you're a direct result of that. So you have committed adultery.
You're guilty of it.
You're guilty of it. And then the man that she marries have committed. So this is the Most High killing 3 people at the same time. Because you unlawfully put away this woman. Y'all better retrace your steps. All right? And you better think twice and you better prove that woman or that man before you enter into that covenant with them. Some sisters ain't happy. But I'll tell you what. You're going to be mad at me for saying this? I'd rather you be unhappy than be in danger of hellfire. All right? And that goes for both parties. Speak on it.
I was gonna say the scriptures speak about causing the righteous to go astray in an evil manner. So she's in order, and she just, well, I ain't gonna say like completely in order, but you know what I mean, she's ready to deal with you and complete that vow, you know, for the rest of her life with you. And she, you know, gets out of pocket one day and raises her voice, and you want to put her away. You causing her to go off, because the only thing she's gonna do is go look for another man.
Yeah.
That's
First seek counsel. This is what we've been learning as of late. It's just like with best friends. Sometimes you can't get no intervention or mediation between 2 people who are so close and who has a history. It has to be an outside influence that comes in to shed light on the situation and bring good judgment and fairness. All right. So seek counsel. All right. Was that it on that?
No.
Go ahead.
And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced committed adultery.
And so whosoever shall marry her committed adultery. All right. This is why Christ said, somebody want to get that? A wicked and adulterous generation? Real quick. Is that it on that? Kai, now give me Matthew 19 and 9. Go for shot. 9 and 10.
Huh?
Verse 9 and 10.
God. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 9. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except to be for fornication, and shall marry another.
Hey, listen, and even if you listen, if you put her away, right? And even if you don't remarry, you're still committing adultery. But guess what? If you take another wife on after unlawfully putting her away, you're committing adultery. You niggas do not have the right to just go around fucking everybody. Excuse my language. That's not what being a Hebrew Israelite is about. That's not what polygamy is about. All right? I'm trying to acquire economic power. All right? Not a high sex drive.
Yeah, not a lot of pussy, all right?
Right.
Some of you niggas, I don't know what y'all was doing in the world, man. You understand what I'm saying? But before we knew we was Hebrew Israelites, we was getting plenty of that. So we not just in the truth, just trying to just have sex with everything. Moving on.
But go ahead.
It says, and shall marry another committeth adultery.
Committed adultery.
And whosoever marrieth her which is put away doeth commit adultery.
And that's a 4-way judgment. That it went from a 3-way to a 4-way.
That's a grand slam.
He said everybody's getting it, right? So you got that?
Which one you want, the adulterous?
Yeah, we got adulterous generation. Yeah.
Book of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 4. A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a son.
Salakia, let me read that again.
A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a son.
So that's what we were, and that's what we are. That's what we become. But like we always say, Christ came to tighten up the law. Now we can't just put away our woman for anything, for the hardness of our hearts. Now we can't just look at a woman and lust after her. That's in your mind, it's adultery. So Christ came to tighten up the law. All right. So let's go from there to Proverbs 6 and 32. And this is the judgment or the scripture for the GMS member who said that shit about Moses being over Christ. Go ahead.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 33. A wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not wipe.
No, Proverbs 6 and 32.
Slow.
Mm-hmm.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 32. But whosoever committeth adultery,
whosoever committed adultery, which is putting her away unlawfully, right? Go ahead.
With a woman lacketh understanding.
So the Most High is taking his understanding away. That's why he's saying shit like, well, it's Christ's words over Moses, which Moses got his words directly from the Most High. First of all, Moses didn't get his words directly from the Most High. Moses was talking to Christ, who was getting his words from the Most High.
Yeah, he was dealing with a medium. He was dealing with an intercessor.
Right.
Like almost damn all prophets.
Right.
They were dealing with an angel, dealing with Yahweh Shai, or dealing with something like that to get the message directly from Yahweh. It's unadulterated, not like they changed anything. Directly, it wasn't.
Right. Is that it on that?
That's right. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul.
Destroyed his own soul. That's capital punishment. So, Cap, I want to get Deuteronomy 18. What verse is that?
18
18 and 19. And then you can get John 12:49. John 5 and 37. Let's wrap this up rather quickly.
Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 18. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee.
Right, and then this is talking about Christ, right? Go ahead.
It says,
Which GMS will agree is talking about Yahweh Shai.
and will put my words in his mouth.
Put my words in his mouth. So what Christ came on the scene speaking is what he heard directly from the Father. So you can't play that degenerate, wicked game, all right, just because you want leeway in the past and grace to be wicked, that Christ's words is not over Moses, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, Yahweh Shai's word is law. Period. It's Torah. It's a part of the Torah because the Torah said it is. Go ahead.
It says, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him.
So he is getting commandments from Yahweh to speak unto people, commandments, right? Speak unto us. So his word is a part of the law. Keep reading.
And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak
If you don't listen to Yahweh Shai's words, read.
in my name, I will require it of him.
I will require it, meaning you'll be judged and punished because you are violating commandments. That's why you get judged and punished for breaking commandments, right? For sinning. So not obeying Yahweh Shai's word is sin. It is breaking a commandment. Therefore, it's an extension of the law because the law prophesied of it. You can't add to the law, of course. But what he did is not adding to the law because the law said that he was going to come and he was going to say things, and this was going to be counted right along with the law.
Right.
So it was in the law. But go ahead.
Right. Okay. From there, to further substantiate that, Deuteronomy 18. Who got John 12?
Got it.
Go ahead.
Come. Book of John, chapter 12, verse 49. For I have not spoken of myself.
Christ said, I'm not speaking myself when I tell you, you can't put away your woman except for fornication. Who's he speaking? Who's telling Christ to say this? Go ahead.
But the Father,
Go ahead.
which sent me, he gave me a commandment.
He gave me a commandment to tell you, wicked, hard-headed Negroes, don't put away your wife except nothing for fornication, but fornication. Go ahead.
What I should say and what I should speak.
So let's get John 5 and 37.
Anything else?
Yeah, 1 Corinthians 7, 3-5.
The book of John, chapter 5, verse 37. I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me, because my word hath no place in you.
5 and 37?
Yeah. Oh, Salah. I'm over here on 8. I thought you called 8.
How you get 8 from 5?
You said 8. Right. This is John 5 and 37. And the Father himself, which has sent me, hath borne witness of me. Ye have neither heard his voice.
You have neither heard his voice. So just substantiating that it was Christ, the angel of the Lord, who was dealing with Moses, right? Go ahead.
Ye have neither
so that
heard.
bill of divorce shit is out the window. We're going by Christ tightening up this law. All right? No half-stepping, no lukewarm shit.
You can give a woman a bill of divorce if she commits whoredom and adultery is a hoe on you. Yeah, you can do a bill of divorce, but not for other reasons. Fornication, unlawful sex. Go ahead.
So ye have neither heard his voice at any time, nor seen his shape.
There we go.
Cut.
That's plain. Now, 1 Corinthians 7 and 3-5.
1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 3. That the husband render unto the wife do benevolence.
And a lot of these situations happen because a man don't want to give her some sufficient time, sufficient physical needs,
sex,
right? Sex. Let's just be straight, frank, and forward, right? You got to give that due benevolence to your woman. All right, if she's wanting that, you have
a duty. Yeah, you have a duty in marriage.
Right. I mean, I ain't saying now if you have a problem with that, I ain't saying go buy. I'm talking about a problem, like a problem. I ain't saying go get no Viagra and Cialis.
There's
I ain't saying a Rhino 7, right? You need to go get you some mandrakes. What's that? Yohimbe?
Hey, Yohimbe
Get
bar.
some Yohimbe.
There's various
hey,
natural stuff.
you get some Yohimbe, she'll be calling the cops on you, man. All right? So,
That's right. Huh?
go ahead, finish
You
that.
have a duty, huh? Like Shaft, brother. Go ahead.
It says, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. It says the wife hath not power of her own body, but the husband, and likewise also the husband hath not power of his own body,
Right.
but the wife.
Right. So your daughter of Zion, your princess of Zion, is not your concubine. You can't treat her like a heathen woman. You have to show due benevolence, right? So go ahead. Is that it?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Defraud ye not one another.
Defraud ye not one another. That's talking about the physical part of it. You got to meet each other's needs physically, right? Go ahead.
Except it be with consent for a time.
Right, now, if you guys agree to say, you know, we need time and space, we kind of been on edge lately. You know, it can't be a long time, but y'all have to consent and agree to that time. Go ahead.
That ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again.
And come together again after you build yourself back up, have a little breather. Go ahead.
It says that Satan tempt you not.
That Satan tempts you not, meaning the man go and think about putting her away, or the man go and lay with somebody else's woman, or she think about stepping out. Now that's Satan tempting, and now the marriage is destroyed. Now
she's all for that, but you could have prevented it.
Right.
See?
That's why I say it should only be a short time, as the scriptures say. Is that it on that?
It says that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency.
Right. So what was we at? Last scripture.
Sure.
Book
of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 41, verse 22. Or to be over busy with his maid, and come not near her bed.
To be over busy with his maid, meaning what? You're too busy for your woman. And it says to come not near her bed, meaning you're not giving her that proper physical time, pleasing her needs.
That's right.
All right? Go ahead.
Or of upbraiding speeches before friends, and after thou hast given, upbraid not.
So you got to come near that bed. You got to slide in that bed, right?
We'll talk about it. Talk about it.
You got to make it the bed rock like Flintstone.
That's damn right.
Like Fred Flintstone, right?
Okay, you don't want an unhappy woman, all right?
So that's it, man. We got to put adultery and wickedness out of Israel,
and
man.
I got one more thing real quick. I just got reminded of something. Sister came to me with something that this sister was doing, or a problem that a sister was facing, that this man got 2 wives, but he's trying to sleep with both of these women. Basically, he's got in one room with 2 beds, he's trying to hit one and go to the other side of the room and hit the other. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to read this in Leviticus 18:18 real quick. Leviticus 18:18. Jake is just, why you want to vex the woman like that? And this is the law. There's a law against that. Leviticus 18:18. Neither shalt thou take a wife to her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness beside the other in her lifetime. You don't be just popping the women next to each other, man.
Beside the other, instead of playing.
He's violating that. Brother, you see this, stop doing that. Repent. Listen, you get them women 2 rooms, you visit them in their damn room or in their damn house, or however you do it. Don't be trying to hit the woman in this. Somebody gonna slide out of one and go slide right into the other, man. No, the Jake ain't even watch his broad off, man. Going off, huh? Brothers just be going off, man. I'm trying to tell you. You know, ATM niggas, you know what I'm saying? Repent of that, man. All right. Don't be just using one wife to vex one. That's, you know, they have, you know what I'm saying? That's all. So,
Right.
You have any more, Deacon?
Brothers, sisters, wait, give it some time, be patient.
Please.
Then you'll know if it's for you or not. Both brothers and sisters, right? So we can put away fornication. Those of you that are already in union, if it ain't for sexual immorality, you got to deal with that, bro.
Rock out until the Most High send His Son. Period.
Right. So with that, close it out.
Oh yeah, we give all praise Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and say Shalom.